What's going on today? You already know what it is. This Tunchi, and you already know what it is. Y.B.E.T.V. I got a question today. It's from Tony D. It says, Bossman, what is your perspective on elogs and the owner-operator situation? What is the correct way to weight your truck, fill up the fuel tanks or like half the tank? If you bobtailing for 1,000 miles, do you have to log? Do you have to do logs? Why is it that most company drivers seem not to care about the equipment? Can you do a video to educate these young trucker wannabes? Thanks, man. Believe it or not, you are one of the guys I watch and have decided to go back as a trucker. Keep doing good work and you have some good content. Thanks. Tom P. from Bossman Tony D. Now, you got like 7 different vlogs in one, bro. I just want to say, number one, you knocked it out the park with these questions, man. First off, what is your perspective on elogs and the owner-operator situation? I like it. I know it now. I kind of hate it and like it because I think it's going to affect the smaller owner-operator to a point where now they got more of a expense that's going to affect them. And, man, damn, man, I wish them the best, if you're not signed on to a company. Now, if you signed on to a company, I think that it's going to actually work out in our favor. I don't think I could be as hopeful. Maybe that's just wishful thinking. But either way, I hope it work out in our favor because now they actually got to start thinking of paying people. Like, back then, see, a guy didn't mind running that outlaw garbage and running sleepy as hell and running for 17 hours straight when he had paper logs. Can't really be cheating these e-logs. So now you need to get some people over here. See, you can't have 3 guys at your company doing the job of 10. You get what I'm saying? Because I know guys that will go run all day and night and get 3 hours of sleep a day and be running illegal as hell, be logging 3 log books and be up and down the road. They ain't killed nobody, but they make a bunch of money. But some of these guys that's running like that, making the same thing that a guy at Mercer or a Snyder could make that's on percentage doing drop and hook and got e-logs. So I'm a fan of e-log, and another thing is I'm a fan of when DOT come up to your truck and they say, let me see your logs, and you be like, is electronic? They be like, all right, going on down the road. I'm a fan of that. I'm a big fan of that, man. I love it when they don't hassle you over your fucking logs, man. Them going through it with a fine-tooth comb, adding it up, then they make a mistake. They say you was wrong for this, then you got to add it up and show them they wrong. Fuck that. It's all in the computer. My computer say ain't no errors. It ain't said shit. Leave me the hell alone. That's number one. Hope that helped for that one. I'm a fan of e-logs. What is the correct way to weigh your truck? Fill up the tanks or like half tanks? That's kind of a trick question. I would say, of course, you want to fill up your tanks and see where you're going to be at. For the most part. But it could be either or. Because, okay, it depends. Okay, first off, you're going to have to see how much the load is. Now, if you're about to go from Illinois to California, and you about to be running like that, you got 20,000 pounds, you can fill up. Of course you can fill up because you're not gonna make it to California. You're gonna need more diesel, so you could fill this load up. See, it's so many different things. Another thing is, like, from Illinois to California, you could go a little bit further back on the holes. Like, it's holes on the trailer that you could put, like, California is like the 5th hole, the 4th hole, 3rd hole, 2nd hole, 1st hole, right? That's what you would legally have to be at, which makes it a lot harder to adjust the weight. So you do got to focus a little bit more on diesel. And California, them mother suckers always trying to overload you with. They trying to put you at 44,595 pounds. So I would say in California and places where you got to be in the 5th hole, I would say probably go with the half a tank. And if you really good on the front and you good with the weight, you could go for a full tank if it's earlier in the week and, things like that, because you got to consider all those things. Like, is it early in the week? Is this close to fuel cutoff? Is this load going to take me far enough for me to be able to use a whole a fill up. So those are some of the things that you got to kind of look into. I hope that kind of answers the question. Because that one right there, like, I would have to do a hellified breakdown of that, because that right there is not an easy one to answer. I hope that kind of gave you a general idea. If you bobtailing for 1,000 miles, do you have to do logs? Now, that's tricky and not tricky. Okay, in instance, like, let's just say, if you ain't got no tags on your truck and you going 1,000 miles from Fort Wayne to Texas, so you can do an orientation. You don't have to log it. For the most part, you wouldn't have to log it, but you're going to have to put on a piece of paper, not for hire, put it in your window to show them that I'm not for hire. I don't have no tags. This is like a personal vehicle. I'm just moving this. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not on the clock. I'm not running under a DOT number. When you put that DOT number on the side of that truck, and you actually start making money and you signed on to that company, from that point on, you need to log everything you do. But what you can do is log it as off-duty driving and let them know, like, I might use this truck to make money and be signed on with this company or using my own DOT number, but, I'm off-duty. This is leisure time. I'm just going over one of my little chicks' crib to stay in Texas. That's all I'm doing. Ain't nothing illegal about that, so you'll be fine with that. Why is it that company drivers seem not to care much about the equipment? Can you do a video to educate these young trucker wannabes? What I'm going to say is, look, a lot of people don't care, man, is because a lot of people ain't getting paid. You can't expect somebody to take pride in something when a lot of guys are out here losing their families to trucking, man. Like, I done watched guys lose their home, lose their car, because they with a company and they trusted the company to keep their word, and they go out and they run for these people and they don't want to pay them. They always trying to beat them out. They away from their family. Their wife is at home trying to make ends meet. They on the road. She's not getting no money from them, and it's rough. And they like, the pride in trucking is dying, man. There's not a lot of pride in it, man. Most of these companies are running these drivers down. They trying to get you to run illegally. They forcing you to do things, and it's just. And another thing is that a lot of these companies not taking care of their equipment. But what I can say is some of the guys do come out and they're a little bit rougher on the gears and the clutches and a lot of these things. You know why? A lot of the time is because they wasn't taught correctly. And that goes back to the companies again, which I got to shift the blame back onto them, because I was at CR England, and one of the biggest things, they determined how long the people were going to be trained on the influx of trucks that they got to lease out. So if they just got an influx of 50 trucks in Salt Lake City upgrades to get them on the road and by themselves, 2 weeks. 2 weeks worth of training, and they could go get in their own truck. And people wonder why they tearing these trucks up. Because a lot of these, like, trucking is about money, but it became so much about money that it's just ridiculous. So you asked a lot of questions, and then you thanked me at the end. I hope I answered them generally. You already know. I really appreciate you. You already know what it is, Tony D. Don't want to end up in a box. Think outside of it. Y.B.E.T.V.
Drug dealing and killing is going on in my town. It don't take a killer to kill or a driller to drill. See, just being yourself is the definition of real.